Hi guys, Mr. Polley here. This week I'm going to be reading this book to you guys. It's called Driver Ants, and it was written by Marilyn Woolley. Now this isn't a storybook, this is a piece of non-fiction. So this book should give you some interesting information about this kind of ant. Okay? So let's have a look, shall we? Here we can see the contents page. This should tell us all of the different things that are inside the book. If we want to look up some specific piece of information, we can find the page number and go directly to it. What are driver ants? Driver ants are the largest ants in the world. They are also called killer ants. Driver ants kill all living things that they find as they march across the forest floor and through the grassland looking for food. They kill more animals than any other animal in their habitat. Millions of driver ants go hunting together. They terrify all animals. Animals run to escape when they hear the driver ants coming. Facts. Driver ants live in rainforests and grasslands in parts of Africa. So let's look at some of the difficult words on this page, shall we? Here's the word habitat. Habitat is the kind of place that an animal lives in, or a different living thing. Let's see what kind of habitats driver ants live in. Oh, they live in rainforests and grasslands. If you ever see ants in movies attacking someone, usually they're driver ants. Millions of ants. Driver ants live together in colonies, in huge nests under the ground. Driver ants have the largest colonies of any ants. Up to 20 million driver ants or more live in one colony. In a driver ant colony, there are 4 types of driver ants in a colony. Each type of ant does a different job. Queen ant. The queen ant lays 1 to 2 million eggs each month. Worker ants. Worker ants find food for the queen and look after the eggs. Soldier ants. Soldier ants guard the nest and protect the queen and worker ants. Male ants. Male ants leave the nest when they hatch. They live alone and return to the colony during the mating season to mate with the queen. Interesting. So we have the word colony quite a lot. Now, a colony is very much like a society. So with ants, we don't have things like, a fireman or a police officer or a teacher. We have these different roles. And so all of these ants work together because without each other, they wouldn't be able to live at all. And when things live together like that, we can call that a colony. This is the word we usually use for groups of insects living together as well. Look, you can see in this picture a small idea of just how many there are. But of course you couldn't get millions of ants into one photograph. The largest ants. The queen ant is the largest ant in the world. It can grow up to 5 centimeters long. But not all driver ants are this big. Worker ants are only half a centimeter long. Soldier ants are about 1.5 centimeters long. Male driver ants grow up to 3 centimeters long. They have wings. So here you can see up in the picture, this is a soldier ant. And this is a worker ant. See, it's nice and labelled for us so that we know what different kinds of ants we're looking at. And down here we have a little chart to compare the size. And actually I can see from my centimetre squared map down here that these look to be about the correct size for the insects. Yes, look, these are the actual size that they are. Terrifying hunters. Driver ants eat insects, spiders, earthworms, and any other animals including mammals and reptiles. Each day, millions of ants leave the nest to hunt for food. As they march out of the nest, they make a loud, terrifying rumble. When the other ants in the jungle hear this noise, they run away to escape the ants. The ants eat young or injured birds, reptiles, or mammals left behind in the rush and panic. If an animal is caught by these ants, it will not survive. Sounds pretty dangerous to me. Driver ants don't use a sting to attack animals. They have large, powerful jaws that they use to stab and tear animals apart. Driver ants work together to attack animals that are much bigger than themselves. They use their sharp jaws to cut up the animal and carry it back to their nest for food. Driver ants eat so much food that they eat all of the animals in the area. They stay in each nest for only 3 or 4 weeks. Then they move to a new place that has lots of animals to eat. Wow, so they actually eat everything in an area, and then when they run out of food, they move. And you can see this one is eating this, I think that's a grasshopper. Look, driver ants have strong, powerful jaws. You can see here and here. They don't look like our jaws, do they? For their size, definitely killer ants or driver ants' jaws are much stronger. A huge army. When driver ants hunt for food or move their nest, they move together as a huge army, 25 meters wide and 5 meters deep. This is called swarming. The soldier ants stay on each side of this swarming army. They protect other driver ants by keeping their 2 strong jaws open, ready to bite and tear pieces off flesh of any animal near them. Facts. Driver ants travel at a rate of 20 meters per hour. Look. It looks so organized. Like some kind of dance or something, right? Blind killers. Driver ants do not have eyes, so they cannot see. But they can still find their way around. They use touch, smell, and chemical signals to find food and to communicate with each other. Driver ants cannot swim, but they can cross water. To do this, they build a bridge using leaves and their own bodies. It is sometimes called a living bridge. Yes, I've seen this on a documentary before, how the ants make this really, really long twisting line of ants across a river or a small stream so that they can cross. It's pretty amazing. I don't think people could work together like that. Hunting the hunters. 2 animals have worked out ways to gather up and eat driver ants from underground nests. Gorillas. Gorillas attack the underground nests of driver ants so they can eat the ants. Gorillas have strong, powerful hands. A gorilla reaches into the nest with one of its hands and scrunches up the ants so they cannot bite. Then the gorilla moves the ants quickly into its mouth so they cannot get away. And here's Kong eating some ants over here. Chimpanzees. Chimpanzees make 2 different tools to gather the driver ants from their nests. First, a chimpanzee uses a thick branch to punch or dig a hole in the ant's nest. Then the chimpanzee puts a thin stem of a plant or a stiff blade of grass into this hole and wobbles it from side to side. Some ants come out to protect their nest from an attack and climb up its thin stem, but as the ants climb higher, the stick bends under them and they cannot swarm together to fight back. Then, the chimpanzee runs its hand along the stem, pulls the ants off, and eats them in one big mouthful. Wow, what's really interesting about that is both of the animals that have learned to eat them, they have to gather them up really quickly so they don't get bitten by them. I imagine, even though they're quite small, it's still quite painful to be bitten by a driver ant. I don't want to find out though. Helping out. Driver ants are dangerous because they swarm in such large numbers and they will attack and eat any living thing. But this is not always a bad thing. Driver ants eat the bugs and other pests that destroy farm crops. When they swarm into people's houses, they eat all the bugs and pests. Driver ants can be helpful as well as dangerous. What do we think about that? While it says that they come into your house and they might eat the pests, I imagine they might eat your pets as well. So this is a glossary. Now a glossary is some useful and or difficult words that you might need to know. I think there's a bit of glare right here. Chemical signals. Smells produced by ants that send messages to other ants. I remember why they need this. It's because they don't have eyes, so this is the way that they communicate or talk to each other. Colony. A large group of animals living together. See, this living together is the key part of this. Habitat. The place in which a group of animals live and find food. I remember. They live in rainforests and grasslands. Swarm. A large group of animals moving together as one. Okay, awesome. So, if we wanted to read this book again and reread some important pieces of information, we could look at the contents page. I think I can remember what they're all about. I hope you found this book very interesting. Please let me know. See if you want to have more non-fiction books like this, okay? Thanks. Bye, guys.